There are going to be times when you get brand new information and think that you have to start over from scratch because it's something you have never seen before. Take binary for example. You have all these ones and zeros. Initially, it looks like it's something brand new and you're going to have a lot of problems with it. But if you learn more about the information and you know what you already know currently, how can you apply that to the new information? So with binary, you can actually change it into decimal. So right here, boom. So this looks like 100, right? But in binary, it's actually 4. And so all you're really doing is adding an extra step of changing the binary into the decimal number. And then from that point, you probably have your 2-digit number system and you're able to memorize that. So you just have this extra step of converting binary to decimal, then to your image. And so initially what I did with binary was I thought, hey, let me see if I can make any maybe sounds or letters from the actual binary itself. And so I did that initially when I created my binary system. But it was just a little bit too complicated. I kept trying to read it as something else. And so eventually I did this extra step of changing it to decimal and into my image. So initially if you look at this, you're like, okay, so right here you got 3 ones. Okay, maybe that could just be 3. This could be 2. That could be 1. But then what do you do for this? You know, that's in between 2 and 3 in your head, right? And so it's more complicated. But just you try to make the information something that you already know. And so if you're learning German, do the same thing. Yes, it's a different language. Doesn't mean you have to start like from scratch and nothing you have learned previously is going to work here. And so you just have to be willing to change it. Like, okay, how can I change this into something I know? What can I add? What can I do in order to modify it in some way? But you still want to keep the original word, right? When you're learning German or any language, you want to make sure you have the foreign language as itself. But is there something you could do to change it that's going to make it a little bit easier for you to memorize? For me, when it comes to anything out there word related, I always think of names and random words. And so that helps me keep the image creation going, right, with the random words, but the names, I have to pronounce the names correctly. And so I bring both of those together to learn a new language. And so that's how I modify this. Like, okay, yes, I know I have to pronounce this word correctly, but okay, what can I do to make it something I can actually memorize? No, a random word I can memorize. And so that's what I do when I try to learn anything. Try to force it into something I already know, so it's a lot easier to memorize. But there are times where you might get some brand new information and you have to start completely from scratch and figure it all out. Yes, it kind of sucks, but if you've been practicing memory techniques, you get a lot better at looking at information and finding a way to memorize it. And so I just wanted to share that with you because I think a lot of people see something brand new and think they have to start like from scratch or try to figure something all out. But all you have to do is just take a step back and see, okay, how can I change this into something I already know? What are some modifiers I could do? And then you would realize it's not that much trouble to actually learn the new information because it is very similar to something you might have learned already, and you can apply your old systems you currently have to the new information. So hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.